see, chosen ones, empaths, the narcissist is very unstable. They're very, very unstable. You've got to realize that at a moment in time, they didn't want anything to do with you. When they began devaluing you, they didn't want anything to do with you. But you either have to wait for them to move on with a new supply, for them to get the epiphany, or they start to realize very soon on. And oftentimes, they will smear your name, devalue you, like cause such a rift between yourselves where you're no longer on talking terms. It's got ever so toxic. But actually, during the process of this, they want you back. And it's so hard for us to understand their true nature, because they don't actually, a lot of the times, it's rare that they do, but they don't often come out and admit their true feelings. They often make the situation a whole lot worse. And then they'll do something ever so slight, like a slight hoover or slight breadcrumbing, to try and make you run to them, you know? And they suffer. You've got to understand that they're not stable, and they're suffering every day in their minds, every single day, through their actions. Not from regret, not from remorse, but because of how messed up they are. They suffer with severe anxiety. They suffer with this, trying to make sense of it all. One moment, they're very erratic. So one moment they'll feel one way, another moment they'll feel another way. Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. It'll take 2 seconds of your time. Thank you. But, you know, one moment they're feeling like, I don't want you in my life. I can do everything without you. I'm okay. I don't like you. You're scum. And then they'll treat you like that. Then the next moment they think, oh, I want you back. Oh my God. And they've often made it so toxic that it's very hard for them to actually open up in what they want to say. You know, it can take them a long time to actually get around to it. And that's why I often say you have to embrace for the fact they are going to move on, because you've got to let them go. And when you let them go and let them run through these supplies, and they started getting treated like trash, and they're no longer like held in such a high regard like we used to hold them in, and give them such loving care that we used to do, and they're treated like trash, or they run into another narcissist, or they run into a sociopath or a psychopath, and they began to be manipulated too, and they're both in a situation where they can't draw any supply from each other, and they're both, you know, and they look at each other sitting on the couch, and they scratch their heads and they think, okay, what kind of mess have I got myself into now? You know, often these times are, you know, they've gone off and had an affair, they've run away with someone, you know, they break off with us and they run away with someone, and they run away with this individual, and we're in pain, and we start hating the new supply, and we start thinking, oh, the new supply knew I was with them, and this, that, the other. But just trust me, when the narcissist realizes they want you back, you don't even hear about it. This is their karma. You're their karma. A lot of the times you don't hear about it. You don't hear them come and tell you. You have to start to look beneath the veil. And by you looking beneath the veil, whether that's looking at their social media early days on, when, you know, you shouldn't be doing it, but I know we all do it. You know, you have to look and say, hold on a minute. Those photos are superficial. You can tell they're fake smiles. You can tell they don't really feel that way. Or they're posting things on their social media about you, hurtful slurs. All of this means that they want you back. You know? I remember when the narcissist discarded me. And I didn't even really know it was a discard because they held back the closure. So I didn't really know what was happening. So I was trying to reach out like we do, like an idiot. Trying to reach out. Now, do you know what? Not like an idiot. I was trying my best. As I say, I can look in the mirror and say I tried my best to resolve the situation, and you can too. But they began reaching out. Then they were answering the phone. Then they answered, and they were crying, and they were actually going through crazy amount of emotions. And you've got to understand that if I backed away early on and stopped reaching out, stopped trying to fix it, and that's what I want you lot to do as well. Do not try to fix it. This makes the process a lot quicker for them to realize that they need you back. I made the mistake, and I don't want you lot to make the same mistake I did and live through what I had to deal with, right? Because it's in your hands now, right? Because I left it some months, and then I went quiet, and if I just left it going quiet, it would have been better for me. But I reached out to them, and I regretted it for a long time, me reaching out. But then now I'm not with them. Now I haven't let them back. Now they're not back in my life and stuff like that. I looked at it as God's way of actually letting me express my emotions, and that actually gave me my closure by me expressing to them what I needed to say. When I come back after a few months and I said something, that gave me my closure, because I put it all out in an email. I put it all out and I exposed them about what they were doing. It wasn't a threatening email or nothing like that, but it wasn't kind either, but it wasn't, it was a mixture of everything. And I kind of expressed it all, and they realized like they realized, I think, from that moment, that was actually the discard, because they realized from that moment they can't move forward with me. I still remember all the things they done. My brain's remembered it. Yeah, I can see through it, right? So they realized they can't manipulate, because all of this started off a whim. The initial discard started off a whim. It was because I exposed them, and then they escalated. A lot of the times you lot have to realize that the narcissist actually wants you back from prior to the discard happening, and you've actually exposed them. Think back to the time what you did. You've exposed them. You've confronted them with something. They've escalated the situation. They've escalated it to a higher degree to confuse you, to leave you in the brain fog. That's what they've been doing, right? That's what you have to understand. But the narcissist often wants us back for a very long time, and this will go on into old age, right? This will go into old age. We'll be that person that they can never get. We'll be that person that they can never get their hands on. Imagine that, I think I said this in the video, I'm not sure, but imagine if there was, as I said, if there was 9, 10 people, and all 9 of them were toxic, and one of them's not, and you're that one person, and they've moved on, and they're sitting across on the couch looking at their new supplier, and they're both as toxic as each other, probably a fellow narcissist or a fellow psychopath, another psychopath or a sociopath, or just a toxic individual in general, and none of them can draw energy from each other, none of them can draw supply, and they're stuck in this situation. But then there was you, on the contrast of things, that used to love them wholeheartedly, used to do your best for them, used to be happy, used to try and do everything you can. And yes, we're not perfect. I'm not saying we're perfect, but the narcissist knows that everything that we portrayed in a negative light was actually down to their own influence. The reason why we become tired or low energy, or where we didn't have we didn't display the love we used to display. All of that was down to the narcissist, and the narcissist knew that. And that's another reason why they realize that they can't live with us, is because even when they're with us, they see our supply starting to wither away. So they try and do something. They do these toxic things. They speak to someone new. They do something to trigger a reaction from you, to gauge a reaction. That's what they do. That's what they honestly do. Okay? But a lot of the times, I will tell you that if you've witnessed them moving on, after they move on, they get an epiphany. you know. And in some cases, while they're devaluing you, they secretly want you back as well, and they're trying to gauge a reaction out of you, and they're also trying to gauge a reaction out of you from moving on. They secretly want you back, you know. They're very good at covering up their emotions and their true feelings. That's what the mask is all about. They're very good at that. We know that, right? So do not listen to what they say. Don't believe what they say for a second, you know. A lot of the times we've exposed them. Think back, did you expose them? Did you out them? It didn't have to be this glamorous exposure. You might have just confronted them with something, and because they're actually masquerading through life with this artificial light, creating all these lies, and you catch them out about one lie, it can make them run scared. They run scared because these covert narcissists, they don't want to be looked as exactly what they are. That's why they're covert. That's why they go through the artificial light, because they're covert. So anyway, just realize that the narcissist wants you back, and they're going through suffering in their mind, and they're in pain. And this is the karma. The karma is working through you. You are the narcissist karma. And forever onwards, they will always be plagued with regret, self-absorbed regret, just because of supply. That's what I'm saying. It's not true regret, like, oh, I'm so bad for what I did. It's actually because they miss your supply, because they miss what you used to provide for them, you know, like missing an object. That's what it's like. So anyway, I'll leave the video there. Please press the like and subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the love and support. Appreciate every single one of your comments, likes, subscribes, or just watches the video in general. If you would like to donate to the channel, you can find the details in the description box. And if you would like a one-to-one session as well, you can find the details in the description box. So anyway, I'll catch you all soon. Peace.